Hello everyone, Truth and Integrity Warrior Michelle Angelique, and today we're going to be talking about the solution that goes inside of this anti-nano bucket. For those of you who follow my page, and also Tony Gutierrez, trying to break down this nano biotechnology that's in the human body that comes from the food system, medical system, and also a bunch of different environmental systems. But this technology is getting into the body and it's causing a lot of mayhem for a lot of people. I want to talk about solutions, liquid solutions, or liquid formula that goes inside of this anti-nano bucket, a bucket that pulls out this biotechnology that's in the human body, that's coming from, this technology is coming from our food system, our medical system, meaning medicines that are going into the body, and it's also an environmental system that's getting into our body, the way this tech is getting in. But what's happening, it's coming out in a lot of our bodies. I'm one of those people. And so this here is going to be a video about the solution that goes inside, the electrolyte solution that goes inside, to be able to pull out that tech from inside the body, through the feet, through the pores of the feet. And in about an hour or so, all the blood circulates to the bottom of the feet at some point, and so it'll be able to pull out and degauss the information that's in this technology. And the degaussing comes from this magnetic belt, which is another video I'm going to be posting. Actually, I'm going to be making right after this video, so I'll be posting very soon how to make this magnetic belt. And the copper wires are what's creating the pulse and that pull action that literally will pull out this technology and help to break it down and get it out of the body. So I had a couple of subscribers call me all in the same day, which I found to be a coincidence I needed to pay extra attention to, and that's why I'm making this video. There's some confusion going on with the solution that goes inside, and it's just an electrolyte solution, meaning that there's an electrical charge that connects with the body's water inside, makes a union between the water in the bucket, the water in the cells, and then it can be pulled out. If you're a plumber, you know what I'm talking about. If you understand plumbing, is if there is a gap and that water is not connecting in the tubing system throughout, or the plumbing system throughout the house, that water is not going to connect. It needs to create a connection where that water can now bind and pull and then flow. So it's kind of like that same kind of system. Just for a basic understanding of why we're trying to make an electric connection to the electric connection in the body, the water. So what I noticed is the confusion is that they think that there's supposed to be a certain amount of oil, a certain amount of salts, minerals, a certain amount of acid, which comes from a vinegar. So they think it's a certain type of vinegar. What I want to do is get rid of all of that stress and show how easy this is. To make a basic electrolyte is an acid, which is going to be our vinegar. It's going to be a salt, which we're going to use sea salt, which has all the minerals in it. And so it's just the most common, most basic one. And the amount of water. Also, people are unsure about how much water they actually got to use. And I'm going to show you how simple this is so that we can get the stress out. There's a lot of things stressing us out in life. This tech is stressful, trying to stop it from wreaking havoc in the body. For me, my own personal experience, it literally has shredded my body, left me massive scars, my face, the side of my body, my buttocks. I look like a cheetah, I swear. I'm just gonna end up doing some type of tattoo work, just become a cheetah, shit. If I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to do some very tasteful pictures of my backside, my face without makeup, just show you guys my scars. So you can see what this tech is actually doing, how it's ruining the natural nature of everything, because this tech is in everything, and we don't recognize it yet. And so I'm trying to bring attention, and if showing my backside, my cheetah self, my new cheetah self, my scars is going to do it, then I want to bring that attention. But I'm not going to do it until at least I have 1,000 subscribers, so it makes it worth the pictures that I'm going to post. Here we go. Back to amounts. What we want to do is, to make this very simple, is 1 cup of vinegar, 1 cup of white vinegar. When I say a cup, I just mean a cup. Nothing crazy. Just 1 cup of vinegar, 1 cup of sea salt. This right here is 5 liters of water, which is about less than a gallon and a half. It's less than a gallon and a half. But I'm just trying to show you the minimal amount. The minimal amount, because a lot of people think they have to have distilled water 3 to 5 gallons every single time they use this bucket, and that's too much water, too expensive for my budget. So if people are on a budget, what I'm trying to do is help them be able to make this cost effective, and so they can implement it up to two as many times you need a week, where it's not going to break the bank, because I know a lot of people are stressing as far as financial, and adding this to their lifestyle makes it difficult if it gets expensive. So what most people like to do is in their they share what they put in to make a solution. They'll put 3 to 5 gallons of distilled water, if not more. They raise it even higher. I go with 2 gallons. I get it right above my ankle. They'll put half a gallon of vinegar, which gets expensive. I put a cup, because all I'm trying to do is charge the water. All I need to do is get that water activated. That's all I need to do. And they'll put a bunch of different cups of different mineral salts, which you will get a good effect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying these things are not healthy and effective, but they're not cost effective, and I'm trying to make this cost effective and get the stress out for people. So you know that you're making a charge with 1 cup of sea salt, 1 cup of vinegar, 2 gallons of water. Just get it above your ankles. What we want to do is just pull out that tech. What we want to do is just get that water charged with enough electrical current, which a cup and a cup of vinegar and salt is more than enough to create that charge, and turn on your bucket and start getting that degaussing. Again, I'm not criticizing people who have these extravagant solutions, because there's a lot of extravagant ones that can get really expensive. We're talking about we need to do this once a week for the rest of our life, at the very minimum once a week. I'll go up to twice a week. If I leave to the city and I'm out there for a couple weeks, I might hit it every day until I can feel some type of relief, because my skin will be irritated, even though I follow a strict anti-nano diet. Even if I do all the same protocols that I do, if I am around multiple antennas that surround me 360, my skin's going to be irritated. This tech is activated and it is irritating, and so one day is not enough, and so I got to get more degaussing, more pulling, until I feel better and there's some relief, and that'll take about maybe 3 days, 4 days of doing this continuously. So if you can imagine having to always fill this with a lot of expensive distilled water. Water is not inexpensive. With all of that, those minerals, and with all of that vinegar, can get really costly. So also another thing is people want to know about the oil. The oil is for the effect to see the tech collect inside of the little beads of oil. That's all the oil is for. So if you put in an olive oil, you don't have to use olive oil every single time you do it. Olive oil is just a testimony to yourself or to somebody else that they need to see that the tech is floating in the water, and the oil will pick it up. So when you drop the oil in the bucket, you see that it's a very nice clear bead of oil, right? It's a clear bead of oil. But as soon as that tech starts coming out, starts collecting, all of that tech starts filling into the little bead of oil, and so then when you go look at that bead of oil, you can see it full. But I don't need to test. I don't need testimony for myself. I don't need to testify to anyone else. I don't need to prove this to anybody. So I don't even use the oil. I don't even use oil at all. I did when I first started because I wanted to see it. But for those of you who do this as a lifestyle, personally, skip the oil. Unless you want nice, soft feet. You want to give yourself a little treatment, then okay, go for the oil. Do the oil. Another thing, and people who, for cleaning, they go out their mind thinking they got to super disinfect and use all these sterile agents to try to disinfect the bucket. Got to relax. Dump the water. Give it a rinse with some clean water. Dump it. Give it a wipe. Bada bing, bada boom, you're all done. I mean, literally, you're all done. So next, what I want to tell you guys is your water. Where are you going to be getting your water? A lot of people want to know, am I supposed to use spring water? Am I supposed to be using distilled water, tap water? What kind of water am I supposed to be using? So when we use a purified water, doesn't mean that it's actually fluoride free. The only way to get fluoride free water is if it's distilled water or if it's water that runs through a reverse osmosis. Those guarantee you fluoride free water. You don't want to be sucking up fluoride. We already get enough fluoride when we take a bath in our toothpaste. The fluoride brings down the electrical connections between our glands and the field. Period. I mean, it does a whole bunch of other fuckery into the body. But when we're talking about having connection and being able to be more receptive and be able to project mental thought and to be able to pick up mental feeling, because that's what I talk about through all my videos. Fluoride's the number one, what would we want? It's a corrosive. It's corrosive. Literally, you can see pictures of people's glands with fluoride. It looks like a corrosive battery. You see all this white powdery dust on it because that's what happens to the glands. So you do want to try to get a fluoride-free water, and that, again, reverse osmosis or distilled water. Now I'm going to show in an upcoming video, I'm going to try to get it done today also. I'm going to try to whip out these videos so that I can put them back to back, keep the same shirt on so you know that I'm talking about the same thing. It's these solutions to this bucket and what we can do, because there's a bunch of questions that pertain to how to work this, bucket, how to work the solution. People are afraid and don't know and are unsure if it's working, not working. So I want to try to annihilate all of that by helping you work with what you got, because a lot of times we get stuck where all we have is tap water and we can't go to get the distilled water or the reverse osmosis water. And I want to be able to help that. I want to be able to help if you don't have vinegar, but you have apple cider vinegar, go for it. Any vinegar. I mean, if it's dire and you need that bucket right now, because there are dire moments where people feel extreme pain and they don't have time to go to the store and go get some white vinegar, or they don't happen to have any other type of vinegar, but they got balsamic vinegar, use the balsamic vinegar. It's going to be a different color, but you're going to get a connection because it's a vinegar. My point is, use a vinegar. Yes, use something basic, something standard. Balsamic vinegar is expensive, but if it's all you got to use what you got. I remember having a time where this tech got me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I have other videos on it. You could literally see a big, huge indentation in my leg because the tech looked like a plate and it was pulling in so much that my veins were popping out. It caused me so much pain and fire. It felt pain and fire that I had to make something quick. I had tap water and didn't have any vinegar. I was in somebody else's house. I happened to have a bucket and I used a lemon. I used a couple lemons for my vinegar. So it was my acid because there was no vinegar. I used tap water and I spun the tap water. I'll tell you what spinning tap water is in how to charge your water, how to pull out the fluoride and any other things that are not supposed to be in water, how to remove it. I'm going to show what spinning left, vortexing water has to spin left. I'll explain why when I make the video. And it literally makes battery in your water, and that charged water, instead of being H2O, it becomes H3O2, and so the water is now like a battery. And so that's a benefit to the body, and if you're going to use it for your bucket, it's going to be able to, you're going to be able to get a use out of your tap water if you're not able to go get distilled water or reverse osmosis water. A tip for those of you who live in the city and you can go to those glacier water units that give you 5 gallons of water, they're outside your grocery stores. Those are reverse osmosis, those glacier water stations. And those reverse osmosis water, they come to be like $2.50 for 5 gallons of water with those big gallons. So those are helpful if that's a tip that can help anybody. It's the least expensive reverse osmosis water for this kind of situation, and good for drinking, obviously good for drinking. The salt part, I'm going to show you what I do with my salt. The reason I'm going to show you this is I want to show you how you can actually just use anything that you have around in case of emergency. It doesn't have to be perfect, a perfect design to make this work. I dry out my cheeses. I buy raw cheese out here. I live in a ranch town, so a lot of people make a lot of goat cheese and cow milk cheese, and they're raw. And so what I do to preserve them, I put them in sea salt, and I sit them in sea salt for a couple of days. That cheese becomes dry like a Parmesan cheese. I'm just giving you an example of what happens to the cheese. And so I have all these nice dry cheeses, last me a long time, but I have all this salt left over. My point here is I have all this salt left over, and it has a bunch of milk You know, a bunch of milk properties, the properties that's in milk in the salt. I'm not gonna throw this salt away. I'm gonna use it, and I use it in my bucket. So I get a cup of this, and then I get those milk properties in my solution, and it's just a benefit to my body because the properties in that milk is a benefit, and it doesn't go bad because the salt keeps it from going bad. It's the beauty about salt. It's a powerful thing. We underestimate the power of sea salt. Sea salt, not table salt. Table salt is poison for the body. I don't recommend it, but if all you have is table salt, all you got is some lemon, all you got is some tap water, you need to put that in your bucket and you need to degauze this tech if it's causing you a crisis, okay? So I hope that answered a whole bunch of questions. Please type in the comments on the bottom if you have a question so I can answer it. If I don't see your comment, and you see that the numbers don't match the amount of questions on the bottom, it's because I can't actually see your comments. There are so many comments out there that I can't see because the numbers don't match what I see there, and I really apologize if I'm not able to see your comment and respond to you. My phone number is at the back. If anybody wants to reach out and actually call me, it's not a problem. My phone number is in the back. If you look at my YouTube, I forgot under where it is, but it's about me, and it has my contact number, okay? I hope that did it for you, for the solution that goes inside of this anti-nano bucket. Peace out.